Right, so men today don't want to get married. Apparently, is a losing proposition. I think that's crazy. Marriage is the best thing that a man can do and can achieve, and it will better your life in every single aspect of your life. I want to watch this video where they make a bunch of, in my opinion, silly arguments as to why we should not get married as men, and I want to talk to you about it. So let's take a look.
Affairs when it comes to the law and marriage is so biased against men and just totally destroys men. It's just not the right move. It's a massive liability. And because the state, it's all up, I think I have no qualms with men not wanting to be married.
What about the legal aspect, power of attorney, survivor benefits?
We just met today. Could I give you power of attorney over me?
No.
All right, so his first argument is it's just not the right move. What does that even mean? Right? You're going to hear this everywhere. Oh, well, the law is built against you if you get married. Yeah, if you get divorced. The solution is very simple, my friend. Don't get divorced. Like, I feel like, most of these guys that argue for men not getting married, it's all based on if you get a divorce. So instead of you focusing on how to figure out how to find the right woman, how to figure out how not to get divorced by building a strong marriage, you're just saying, no, forget it. Just don't even attempt it. Like that, where in the world does that even make any sense? By the way, most people that get married, they don't know what they're doing. In fact, I wouldn't even call it a marriage because God is the author of marriage. So he is the one that defines what marriage should be and what it should look like. So, and oftentimes, most of the people that are getting married and are getting divorced are people that are not Christian to begin with. So here is the first set of advice. If you want to get married, right? If you want to do marriage properly, go by the guidelines that the creator of marriage instated. And don't cater your life to the fear of getting a divorce. Just prep yourself properly, choose the right woman, so you don't even have to worry about it. I've been married 10 years, and the word divorce has never crossed our kitchen table. So one of the panelists made a great point, and that is that the women that are willing to accept this arrangement where you're not going to marry her, you're not going to commit with her, are going to be what they call low value women, right? Women that don't understand their own worth and they're willing to settle for men like this guy.
Like a more, how did you phrase it? Like what? Like a powerful woman, or I don't know the exact adjective. Yes, a high value, just like high value women. I think that is the most important aspect.
So I actually agree with this point. So I agree with Ashley that by virtue of me not wanting to get married, I'm going to probably lose certain dating prospects. Don't care.
Okay.
Don't care.
Okay.
Plenty of efficiency.
Okay.
And I mean, if she's really about me, here's the thing. Like, she has to come into, like, you guys might not agree with this, but here's my view. When it comes to a relationship, it's got to be my way. You might think, Brian, that's crazy. Look, you guys want us to lead. You want us to take the initiative. You want us to provide. Like, if with the girl, like, just to be clear, I'm not like some playboy that's trying to 10 different chicks, Dan Bilzerian, that type of shit. I like relationships, right? But I don't feel like I could have a lifelong date or be with this woman for the rest of my life, have kids, all that. I don't think I need marriage to have that, though. And if you're really about me, you're gonna be like, I love you. I don't need it.
I've seen this work before. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust you to lead my daughter, even in a date. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't trust this man to lead. If I had a daughter, I wouldn't trust you to date her. I wouldn't trust you to look after her well-being, because guess what? He is ultimately looking after his own well-being, and that's part of the problem. And for women that are willing to accept this type of arrangement, look, let me tell you something. You're worth more than that. You're worth someone being willing to risk everything in order to give you everything. You want a man that is willing to say, I'm willing to risk everything. I'm willing to risk my life in order to protect you, in order to make sure that you have a great life. We as men are called to sacrifice, to protect. Part of protecting your wife is marrying her, making sure that everybody knows that she is under your protection, that you will sacrifice for her, that you are going to provide for her. This man is not saying any of that. In fact, he's saying the complete opposite. I don't trust you enough to marry you. That's what he's saying, because you may want to get a divorce one day. This is absolutely crazy. People that are, struggling with this, that don't want to get married, men that don't want to get married, they're not trusting themselves in making the right decision. This just means that you don't know how to pick the right woman. And most of the people that have divorced, there was something already in their dating, in their, when they were engaged, that told them that person wasn't the right one. And yet they chose to ignore it. And that's part of the problem why all of these marriages fail. Because you choose to ignore the signs that were already there to begin with. You want a woman that is willing to follow your lead as a godly man. Like, you have to be able to see that. You want somebody that's committed to God, that you've seen them, they've been in the walk for 3-5 years, that her parents have been in church and have been part of the church community for a while, 5-10 years. And again, I'm not giving you a prescription, but I'm giving you things that you can look at to better those chances of choosing the right person. Look, like anything else, your mileage may vary, right, depending on the situation you are, but don't set yourself up for failure by trying to marry somebody that you met at a club. That's crazy. What do you think? What type of person are you meeting at a club? A promiscuous human being, by and large. So I think, honestly, ultimately, this talk about men not wanting to get married is so sad, because ultimately what you're saying is that you don't trust yourself to make the choice of choosing the right person for yourself. That's what you're saying, ultimately, because you're choosing not to get married because you're afraid of divorce. You're already preparing for a divorce that hasn't happened. Ultimately, you don't trust yourself, my friend. That's what that's saying. It has nothing to do with marriage, and it has everything to do with you and your inability to choose the right person. Guys, that's all that I have for you today. As always, just want to remind you that we must persevere. Peace.